What is the primary goal of the sprint review? Well, it's simple. The purpose of sprint review is to get feedback on the product that you're building. So you're going to have worked as a team over the last sprint, okay? And you want to show somebody it. Why not show the people who care, the customers, the stakeholders, people who pay the bills? So as a team, you're going to take it in and you're going to show them. Now, a very simple, rough agenda could look something like, this is what we thought we could do. This was the goal we aimed at. This is what we actually did. And you want to do that because sometimes you don't get done what you thought you could for good reasons. Okay? And if it's because of a problem and the problem keeps coming back, well, telling the stakeholders, telling the people who attend your review could surface it to somebody who could help you. This isn't whining, and I need to stress it's not complaining about the state of affairs. It's just saying, this keeps happening and we can't fix it. Okay? Letting them know. So it's an explanation, not an excuse. They might be able to fix it. So who does that? Whoever's best prepped for it. It could be a Scrum Master, it could be a product owner, it could be a developer. And in fact, that remains true throughout the sprint review. There's no one person to deliver the news or lead the conversation. I want the team to naturally find out who those people are. It's not one person. Please don't just make it the product owner or the Scrum Master. Devs, join in. This is your time to talk to stakeholders. So once you've said this is what we could do and this is what we actually achieved, this was the goal we set out to achieve, being an important part of that conversation, you're going to show them the product, the increment that you've created, all of the user stories that you've completed. Okay? Demonstrate the value that you've added to the product. Okay? If you're confident, get them to play with your product. Don't hold back. Let them try it out. If you have to put a caveat and say, don't touch that button yet because it breaks things, tell them, be honest. It's a work in progress. Okay? You're not spending a lot of time getting ready for this. You are just going from work to showing and talking about work. Okay? But the talking is the key here, because the whole purpose of this for everybody is talking about what you've built. Is it good? Is it good enough? Could it be better? Of course it could. Okay? What could we do differently? Because now we see a thing, we can get concrete feedback. What could we do differently because the business needs to change direction, the market's shifting, whatever it is. And everybody in your team needs to hear this conversation and ideally be part of this conversation. A product owner needs to hear it because it may well be an emerging topic that they need to pick up with stakeholders. They need to hear from customers to reorder the backlog, to decide to change direction if it's the right thing to do. Scrum Masters, we're involved. We need to hear this conversation because we're a first order member of the team. We're part of that team. We're not somebody who sits on the side. We're there to help them because we will hear things through our own ears, a different lens, a different set of experiences, and it may well become valuable later on. And the developers, people forget about developers when we talk about Scrum, yet they're the engine, they're the people everything hangs off. They need to be in this conversation because in it, decisions may well be made or at least surfaced. And with those decisions, context. Okay? I'm sure many of you have received edicts from above that are just daft. And you kind of wonder, how on earth is that person a senior leader when they make such stupid decisions? It's not a stupid decision. You just don't understand why it's not a stupid decision because nobody bothered to tell you. It's not effective communication, but it is incredibly common. And we want to just bypass that. Having the developers there, hearing that conversation, hearing what stakeholders say, I like this, but if it was green, it would be better. I like this, but could we also add that? I like that, and that makes me think about this, and we could do some things. Developers not only hear it, but be in that conversation. Oh, we could do this, we could do that. You are the people who know what's possible with your product, with your technologies. And this is the heart of your review. Okay? Everything in Scrum is really an opportunity for feedback. The review, feedback on your product, from those people who care most, the stakeholders, the customers. Your whole team needs to hear this, okay? Because going into sprint planning, probably tomorrow, you're going to have to act on it. Is what they said important enough to change the direction of your Scrum? Are you going to take some different things into sprint planning? Or are you going to do what you thought you would because everything they said was interesting, but not immediately impactful? I don't know, only you can make that call, but you need to make it as a team. Okay? Once you've had that conversation, really good feedback on the product, okay, you're going to switch gears and you're going to talk about the future. The product owner tends to lead this, but there's nothing that says they have to. Okay? But what we're really trying to do is make sure that as a team, we're working on what matters most today. Okay? It's the last opportunity, really, to talk to all these stakeholders before we go into planning. So we're going to say, we think the next sprint looks kind of like this. You're not committing to anything. You're just setting the scene. We think we're going to continue chasing this goal. Okay? Because we want to hear the stakeholders say, yep, that's great. That's exactly what we expected. It's what we need. Brilliant. Or actually, there's an emerging opportunity in the market and we really would like you to consider going in that direction instead. So it's feedback. This is what we're thinking. What do you know that's different? Has anything happened in the organization or wider that we as a team, because we can't know everything, don't know about? And have a conversation about. Talk about this stuff. It is not one direction. It is not us telling people what we're doing. It is not them telling us what we're doing. It is us talking with each other, trying to work out what is most important, what is most impactful for this product, for these customers. Okay? And while we're talking about the future, it's a great opportunity to have that governance conversation. This is what the future might look like. Using empirical planning, we're going to start talking about the data says that we'll achieve this milestone, whatever it may be, roughly this sprint. Or it looks like that key date that you really wanted is in trouble. Whatever it is, it's an opportunity for a team to explain based on data. This isn't opinion. Please use the numbers that are created as part of your work to forecast forwards, okay? And have a rational, grown-up conversation about what's possible. We think we can hit it then. That's not good enough? Okay. We need to have a conversation about how to change that answer. But you can't change the date because you think hard, because you want to, because you shout. You can change the date by doing something. We as a team might be able to do something. You as stakeholders, as customers, might be able to do something about it, but we need to have that conversation. So it doesn't matter if you're a developer, a product owner, or a Scrum Master. You're going to be present in a sprint review all the way through, because there's opportunities to add your thinking, add your knowledge, add your experience, and gather other people's. Because going forward, you're going to need that to understand where we're going and why.